reluctantly, I said okay to this. I'll give it a go. And within 2 days, all the swelling that I couldn't get out of my horse's leg was gone. And I fast forward 8 months later, and she was sound enough to ride. Ligament, tissue, and joint capsule damage. So ligament, tissue, bone, fascia, everything. 8 months after the injury, she was sound enough to ride, which I did not ride her, but I was given the go-ahead by the vet, and then also the comment of, I don't know what you did, but keep doing what you're doing. And with those injuries like that, as horse people, are we all horse people here? Animal people? Animal people. When that happens, there's usually a really bulky scar tissue that shows up. And from a distance, you cannot see where the injury is. So the absorption of the scar tissue at such a deep level with this, I haven't seen before. And like Arnell said, I've been working with horses for over 18 years. So I saw this experience with my own horse. And then I went, well, what the heck is this? And I have other people's horses I work on. So all of a sudden I started my own little clinical trial. And I just, whenever I'd go out to work on somebody's horse, I would use this. And I'll show you momentarily how it works on horses. And every single time that I placed this technology on the horses, I saw a positive decrease in their pain and a positive release in them, relaxing and less reaction. I decided to add this into what I do, and I decided to share it, first of all, because I don't know where my horse would have been if I didn't say yes to this. And secondly, all of the results I saw, this is a value added to what I was doing. And if we can get on the proper line, if we can get a decrease in pain out of our animals this quickly, and as well as I find out owners are always sore. Whoever owns a horse is always sore. We tend to land and bounce and whatever. And we keep getting up and going and doing it again. So there is a little definition of insanity there. But that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I've talked long enough. I'm going to pick a horse and we're just going to go over. I have never met the horses before. I don't know how they're going to respond to this. But I'll just go over and explain, and as questions come up, please feel free to ask me. And what I do is I go along, and I just run my hand along the neck, and down here into the chest. And I'm looking for a reaction to see. So in the shoulder here, I know Oreo. Yeah, thank you, Sabrina. Either right and left, white is on right, tan is on left. What I like to do with these is I only take half of the backing off. So I go along, we've got that reaction there, where I put it here. I like to put it on the other side.
So white, right, tan, left. At least white and right.
Yeah,
that's
easy to remember. Yeah. So she actually, there, okay, so if you go here, see how she dips? Then I would put another application. So at first it looks like, okay, how many of these do you use? Well, at first we're opening meridians, remember, we're allowing the pain to move out of the body. So over time, you'll find you use less. Nothing's going in the body. This is actually approved by the World Anti-Doping Agency, so you are allowed to use it in competitions. What I really like about it is we place it on, and then all day long it has a positive effect for them. And they just go out in the field, they do their own thing. I like the ease of this. And that's all that I would put on her.
So you're just following the bladder meridian? Is that what you were doing? Yeah.
Do you know put the other half of that skin?
Hey, I know. So what I'm doing is the only reason I'm only taking half off is just in case I want to move it.
Right. Okay, that's what I thought. I remember you telling me.
Yeah. Okay, so if I go along here, chewing. Yeah. And then I go here. See how there's no more reaction here? So that's how quickly, so with we're looking for a softening or a non-reaction. So I like to say it's progress. It's not from, 10 to 1, but we're looking for a softening. There's no reaction, and that one's softened. So we're going to leave them here. I have found sometimes what's very interesting is this stops reacting, but all of a sudden it starts reacting back here. So it's actually, you can see it moving through, which is really interesting. So with Fancy, for her age, good job. She's great.
It's her genetics.
Right?
Yeah.
About you guys. But one more thing to add to what I take care of with my horses for my animals. I wanted ease, but I have not seen something respond like this as quickly. They did a clinical trial with over 100 horses, and they quantified the effects of this technology by thermal imaging cameras. And there's a before and after photo that shows before application and after, and such a substantial decrease in pain. We're on the bladder meridian, but the before photo shows the information of the whole horse, and the after photo, after applying them in positions like that, the inflammation has gone down from here too. So it really works on the full horse. And the before and after photos are only 10 minutes apart. So that's huge. There's a lot of good products out there for horses, you know, but I haven't seen a before and after photo that quickly, between 10 minutes. Usually it's multiple applications of a system and weeks apart to get the results that I'm seeing with this. Yeah.
So how's it working?
It's a light therapy, and so in here it's a combination of glucose, amino acids, and crystals, and it reflects the body heat back into the body, stimulating different pathways depending on which patching technique you're using, allowing the body to decrease its own pain and inflammation. So light therapy, we've all heard of many different forms of light therapy. What's really cool about this with LifeWave is that David Schmidt, the owner, founder, inventor, has been able to figure out applying it, and this is the patent, so I can't tell you exactly what's, you know, exactly in it, to stimulate different pathways with the different systems that he's created. So it's very, very specific instead of an umbrella of, say, a laser therapy or something like that.
Yeah, different kinds of patches that they all look the same except for the brown and white are different colors.
I know.
So, but you don't know, like,
There's
what's
whole...
the difference?
Well, and that's where it breaks it down. And so, you know, you could say that this could get really lost on a shelf going, well, what's this, what's that?
Yeah,
so that's why he wanted to do it in this method, so that he now has information and education arm, which is what we are. So throughout the clinical trials with the different types of patches, they activate and stimulate different pathways. And that is shown. So, you know, we do have the clinical trials on the form. Yeah, I'll bring out, there's a couple of them that I use. This one, I love it. They're a very clever company for doing a clinical trial with horses. And I saw the value in that. But I use all the other patches that they haven't done a study on horses.
Oh, you use them
I
on
do.
the horses
I
too?
do, and I've seen some really good results. Before I start, the Eon patch is the one my kids go after. The Eon decreases stress hormones, lowers cortisol levels, and decreases inflammation substantially. What we found with this one, which puts my kids to sleep and makes me happy. I need those. But you know what? It helps me. Here's just a personal story: is when my family comes over, I don't become a nice person. I just get agitated, and I'm sure I'm the only one. I'm sure I am.
It's your mother, right?
Yes, both of them. And you know, anxiousness comes in many forms. Some people just melt, and I get really. So I was like, you know, I keep telling people to put this on them. So I decided to put this behind my right ear because I like to sleep with it. It relaxes me and I get deeper sleep. It's not for that, but that's the side benefit of it. I put it on the behind my ear, and these are so subtle. You really have to sort of pay attention to it. All of a sudden, 15 minutes later, I realized I'm sitting down having tea with my mom and my mother-in-law, and I'm all happy, and I'm like, holy crap. They really were.
What is in that stuff?
Yeah, so Dr. Karen Can, she's used this technology in her practice, a medical doctor and an acupuncturist. for 17 years, and she created what we like to use. I will get to you. I'm so sorry. The brain balancing protocol. So it resets the left and right side of the brain hemisphere, resets your nervous system. We're in a lot of fight and flight right now. There's a lot of stress in the world. So whether we know it or not, we're all in survival mode. So our body's not as efficient as it can be. But when we can reset and rebalance, I know this one's a nice one. Our body is more efficient into the healing process.
That's this part.
So then I just go to this
And
side.
so what we're looking for the horses too.
Is when they, well, I mean, her eyes are kind of closed. She's in nap mode. We're going to look for licking and chewing and yawning because these are opening pathways. What if I can do this, you can.
Thank God it rhymes.
I know.
I've never been able to keep track of it.
Does it have to be exactly on the acupressure point or just the area?
I love that question. So the radius that it stimulates is the size of my hand. So we don't have to be direct like a needle or anything. So if you're in the general area, it's just something you can't do wrong. You're not going to harm. So if we go here, let's see. Yeah. We got that reaction.
That was impressive.
We're opening up pathways here. So it's in a general area. You go to the other side, you place the patches mirrored. I can't see over the horse. It's a height thing.
You want a ladder?
Pretty much. So I'm going to leave this. See how this one, there's a reaction right here even? I'm going to leave this here for now. I'm going to keep going because it's in a fairly... Oh, yeah. Oh, honey. We'll get there. Okay.
Would you normally do this in concert with the stretches and massage and the stuff that you normally do, or?
Yeah, it's a value added to what I do because sometimes I'll have to come in and do some body work and work through their pain. And it's not a great relationship. They're like, oh my gosh, it hurts. But, so I have to ease into it. And it takes, when I place this on here, I've decreased their pain and inflammation. I can get into a deeper adjustment right away.
Yeah.
So,
do it first rather than as well as after maybe.
But how nice is it that we can add this, or somebody can do this, their horse feels better. Nothing's going in the body. So you're not having to deal, with issues of it being too harsh on their body or anything like that. And that's what I really enjoy as well. I knew that she would react back here. So I'll stop. So we've got this reaction there. You can see that muscle tightening. So sometimes it's a higher reaction, sometimes it's a more subtle, but that. Oh. Read the horse before you go behind it. So we just place all of those. Oreo is probably very blocked. Yeah. And that has to do with there is definitely a physical and an emotional element to the patches for opening up energy channels and things like that. But what I really like to share is we're dealing with pain and inflammation. We're decreasing that in the body. And when we can do that, the body's ability to heal itself also does improve.
So with your own horse, with the injury, did you just focus on that injury, or did you do the injury and the whole body, or?
What I did was I really did focus. So I like to do the basics. These are, sorry, too fast. These are brochure points. This is where they did a lot of the reactive point through on the clinical trials. I want to keep it simple. For my horse's injury, it was the front right. I placed one of our stem cell activating patches on because I wanted her stem cells to activate at a younger state, and because stem cells will turn into any tissue, any cell that we really need for repair, I wanted to give her the best ability possible. I'd love to see a before and after of her radiographs for her joint capsule, because once a joint capsule is impeded, usually you don't get it back to. Yeah, so I'd like to see what that is. I want to give it a little bit more time to really get that repair in. But I used the AcuLife for pain,
Okay.
and then I used what was called carnosine and X39, the stem cell one, for repair. So this is pain and inflammation, all depending on what's going on. There's a lot of different information, so whoever invited you here really ask those deep questions if you want to know more about other patches. So I'm going to go into this area. So can you see when I'm pushing, she's reacting but did not turn away like she did, so it softened it. And then this here, I know this is the push button to back up, so it kind of is a tricky one. Yeah, like that. And then we'll go here. Wow, here. Way better.
Yeah.
And I have this tendency to dig in deeper than I did the first time because I really want.
But there's been no
So
reaction.
then if you go here, there's not that really. So I'm going to leave these all here. She's just going to wear them and have them work on her all day long.
So you just let them drop off then?
Well, if you don't have any other patches, so we like to say we use them 12 hours on and 12 hours off with horses, because some of us don't have our horses with us. They're at a boarding facility, so I use them 24 hours on and 24 hours off, because we usually get to see our horse once a day, as opposed to a couple. Just makes it easier.
Can you also just leave them on until they wear off?
You can, but we also want to give the pathways a rest, because they can overstimulate and then not be as effective.
Yeah, can you reuse them or no?
No, because the crystals break down with the heat and the activation increases.
So it shouldn't be more than 24 hours? Is that what you think?
Well, with the other patches, for sure, X39, the stem cell one, these ones, we have a bit of a grace period, but all the other patches, 24 for animals is what I usually do.
And how long would you continue to use them if it's a chronic lameness like arthritis?
Well, if you're looking at what I'm doing, and you notice I'm looking and placing on the reactive points, if they're not reactive, it'll place them there. So if it's something, we don't treat, cure, diagnose, we always look at symptoms. So if it's inflammation, if it's pain, if AcuLife, if we're looking at repair, bringing, that up, I would look at some of the X39, the stem cell, along with, say, a carnosine, which helps with tissue repair, things like that. So I'd definitely be able to answer those questions. It's all the hard place, that shoulder one. There's a big drop.
Yeah.
I'm doubting that side in there. Okay. So again, like acupuncture without the needles, opening up meridians, the white on right, tan on left, and you go in the reactive points. So there's another one as well. Oh, I like it. She makes straws and lines.
Good visual.
That's right. Okay. So there was not much of a reaction on the front end of her, but on the back end of her, this is where she's really stuck. And that's my word. Just uncomfortable. And when you're going along here, just hold on. Nope, no reaction. She just shifted. I wanted to double check. All right, so other areas, if you're looking for some, you can go in there. You can see that's, see the difference now? There's still a drop. Yeah, we're just gonna wait. This is a really good showing what can happen is an influx of inflammation. So the place will wake up before it starts to settle down. Okay, so we're just gonna let her sit. There's a few different options here. Yep, okay there. Still sore. Still sore. I'm gonna try something here. This could be her. Sometimes what we have is reverse polarity. So we switch it over. I'm not sure, but this is the thing is we don't have to be right, we don't have to be wrong. We're just playing around, we're trying to make her comfortable. So there's different ways that we can do this. She get nervous sometimes? So she's really sore. Look at that. I will.
Snow. It's like snow again.
It's glitter. So this is fun. I just asked Sabrina if she gets nervous often, and she said yes. So this is when I would use Eon. And I either place it behind the right ear. That's where I place it when I'm wearing it during the day. And when I go to sleep at night, I like to place it in the middle of my forehead. Yep. So this application is just one patch. This works as a meridian opening.
But you said you use it behind the ear, but also on your forehead?
There's different positions.
Oh.
Yeah. And so for her, I would place it right here.
Is that the one that you said made you friendlier with your family?
Yeah, that made me a better person.
So she's very moody and she gets very, very, very irritable
Okay.
when she's got something going on. Like if she's not feeling optimal or she gets feeling a little.
There we go. See, did you hear that big deep breath and that? And she just dropped her head. So, it wasn't me who started using the Eon. I just had friends and people that I have shared this with said, oh my goodness, when my horse is irritated, when she's tied up or he's tied up, I'll put the Eon on and they just relax. There was one farrier that went back to a friend of mine saying, what is this stuff? I need more of it. It makes my wife's mule a nicer mule. And because he does the feet, I know it's a good one, right? Because he does the feet, it's really hard to do this mule's feet. Well, placed the Eon on the forehead and she fell asleep. And his wife came out of the house and said, well, what did you do to my mule? This is not the same one. So, you know, sometimes the response is so quick. Sometimes it takes time, all depending on the animal. But I do like the softening of what's going on for Pi.
Would you dare ride?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the great thing is like we don't have to go, okay, we'll add another half an hour here, we'll do the session and away we go. It's put them on. I've had one woman high-end dressage and always really hard to warm up. Just not having the horse, especially after a few days off. So I said place up us here and place here and then go ride. And so very quickly she had her horse underneath her. And that wasn't something I always did. Because if we have a sore back, the last thing we want to do is bring our knee up to our chest. The last thing a horse wants to do is come under and push off with it. So you'll have this more stiffness. So if we put this here, we're decreasing pain and inflammation, and they're able to have that range of mobility. When we, you know, help support the body's own healing mechanisms that we're trying to tap into here. Aggie has to get away from the grass. What? I know. Hi. Hello. Okay.
Do you tell me what you want me to do?
Are you sore there? Yeah. When were the teeth done?
Monday.
Monday, yeah.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll do it today. I haven't been done in a long time.
So right in here with anything, I just pressed in there and which completely makes sense to what these are the AcuLife badges. Right, we're gonna put it right up on her TMJs. The white you're not gonna see on her.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, that's the worst one. I mean, it's for pain.
Oh, shoulders.
Ooh, that was quick.
I'm surprised how well they stick too.
I know. That was one of my things.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, they do.
And they roll on them and they still
They
are
still
on there.
stay.
Super sticky stuff.
Oh. She is not moving away from anything. Before she was kind of fussy and.
Never stood still in her life.
This one?
I know she was fussy at
Got a
first,
little
and
bit
then
back
just as soon
there.
as she went with the first, she was like, okay, there's something here. There's something here. Doesn't that feel brilliant? I know.
See how I'm not going behind.
Oh, and this is the first time that she's put her ears forward. Yes. Good job. She's listening.
She's not really.
There.
Not showing a lot, but I'm going to place here. This area here is where I find a lot of irritation. She responded slightly, but her shoulders. Did she ever a cart horse or anything like that? For many, many years.
Does it work slower when you have so much hair?
No, actually, I love your guys' questions. They've shown that it works through a 4 to 6 inch block of wood. You're still getting that stimulation through it. Okay.
Is it true that you shouldn't carry the packages on yourself?
Yeah, activated by heat. So yeah, they're in their sleeves, so it's always great to keep them in there. But you want to keep them in a room temperature type of situation, away from your phone. Yeah, once you have them in your hand, even if the backing's still on, they will still work. So some people are so sensitive that they actually can't place them on their body. It's too much. So they'll hold it in their hand until they acclimate to them. It's very interesting. We're so similar, but yet so different. Oh, that's so much better.
I put my dog's one on her collar, and I was like, how can this work? It's not facing her skin. It's not on her skin. Because the patch was actually facing the fabric of the collar away from her back. And it still really worked.
Yeah. I'll get there.
It is not the right word.
Much better. Hi. Yeah, it's interesting. And so if there's sensory issues with people and kids, you place them on the clothing.
Oh.
And they still get the effect of them without getting that irritation. My husband, he can't handle patches on the bottom of his feet. He wants to and I said, well then put them on your socks. And that's what he does. Problem solved. Okay, so we've got that area. And then, yeah, way better. Oh.
Like I came just in time.
So hairy, aren't you? Poor thing.
So hairy.
So itchy.
Am I gonna go visit?